Tonight, the Reds are off and standing pat, but their fans are speaking out.
Fire them all. Get rid of Miley. Get rid of that gullet. They need to go.
You try to go out and get a big name free agent or a pitcher at the trade deadline to try to solidify the starting rotation, because we have decent pitchers, but not any great pitchers.
Got to get some pitching in there. That's our, I think that's our weak spot right now, is our pitching.
Yeah. Any suggestions?
They can sign me up, maybe. I don't know.
Got a good arm?
No.
They can't hit, they can't run, and they can't move runners over when they got people in scoring position.
So what do you do with them?
You get rid of them. I'm a Sox fan, and that's what they did last year, and they're in first place.
Wait, Sox fan?
Sox fan.
With a Reds jersey?
Well, I married a Reds fan, so, you know, I got to keep her happy. But I grew
She ain't happy these days,
No,
right?
she's not.
No, Reds fans are not happy, but the Reds hope to get some help in tomorrow's draft. They own the 12th overall pick, and let's hope it goes like 1998, when 8 of their 54 picks made it to the major leagues, including Austin Kearns, Adam Dunn, Josh Hall, and current Orioles closer B.J. Ryan. But since then, just 7 of a whopping 253 selections have made the show. Not very successful development. In fact, let's revisit the last 8 picks. In 1997, Brandon Larson, he's now playing for the Rangers Double-A team. Kearns, a good pick in 98. Lefty Ty Howington has spent more time under the knife than pitching. Shortstop David Espinoza was traded to the Tigers. He's playing outfield for Detroit's Double-A team. 2001 pick, Jeremy Sowers never signed. Chris Grueller is yet to take the mound and probably won't all year. Ryan Wagner's had a solid season, and Homer Bailey has been pretty good at single-A day. Reds and Devil Rays meet for just the second time ever during the regular season, and in his return to Cincinnati, Lou Piniella can't be pleased with what his team did tonight. Let's go to Great American Ballpark. It's 1-0 in the second. Carl Crawford smokes one to right center off starter Ramon Ortiz. That's a 3-run homer. The Rays actually build a 6-1 lead. Dave Miley gives Ortiz the early hook. His replacement, Randy Kiesler, look at this, leads off the third and goes deep to right. First career home run. How about it? 6-2 now. 2 batters later, Joe Randa gets into the act. A 2-run job to the bleachers and left. It's now 6-4. The Reds rack up 6 straight hits to start the inning. Welcome back, Willie Mopena. Doubles off the wall and left. That scores Sean Casey from second. Now it's 6-5. Reds take the lead in the fourth, then 1 on for Junior. There's a drive off Travis Harper. Home run to right, his 9th of the year, career number 510. It's 9-6. Kiesler outstanding on the mound as well. Pitches 6 1/3 in relief. A career high 8 strikeouts, 2 hits, 1 run. Rays threatened with the tying runs aboard in the 9th, but David Weathers gets pinch hitter Alex Sanchez to end it. Reds halt a 5-game losing streak. Your final score is 9-7. Ortiz lasts just 1 2/3 innings. He's charged with 6 earned, but Kiesler saves the day with the longest outing by a Reds reliever in 15 years. How about that? He also goes 2 for 3 at the plate with that home run and a double.
Not only what he did on the mound, but what he did offensively, and just a yeoman's job and terrific.
Being the long guy, you have to come in and try to keep the team in the game, or give them an opportunity to get back in the game. And you know, that's my job, and that's all I wanted to do, and you know, worked out good.
Kiesler isn't the man tonight. It did work out good. Hey, when it comes to the draft, pitching is a priority, but some players are just too good to pass up. Like 18-year-old outfielder Jay Bruce, the National High School Player of the Year candidate, is the Reds' first-round draft pick today. Let's go to Beaumont, Texas. Bruce is selected 12th overall. The 6'3", 190-pound prospect began the year as a projected 3rd or 4th rounder, but his stock skyrocketed following a superb senior season, batting .538, 12 homers, 31 RBI, and 16 stolen bases for Westbrook High. The family loves it. He signed a letter of intent to play college ball at Tulane, but will sign with the Reds instead.
A little anxious, you know. Adrenaline started going a little bit. When I finally heard my name, it was a big relief.
Best athlete and best player on the board for us. We had him real high, guy that we had kind of targeted going into the day, and weren't quite sure which teams were on him in front of us, but he was the guy that we were real happy to get.
And the Reds' 2nd through 6th picks after Bruce, they're all pitchers. In the 2nd round, lefty Travis Wood, a 6-footer who last season was Arkansas High School Baseball Player of the Year. 6'3" righty Zach Ward from Gardner-Webb University. Samuel LeCure, a 6'1" righty who attended the University of Texas. Then 6'1" righty James Avery from Niagara University. And in the 6th, 6'1" righty Jeffrey Stevens from Loyola Marymount. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Willie Mopena comes off the DL to help the Reds erase a 5-run deficit against the Devil Rays last night. Tonight, it's Willie Moe bobblehead night. Once again, the Reds fall behind by 5 runs. Can Willie Moe save the game? Let's go to Great American Ballpark. Down 1-0, bottom 2. Pena homers to left center. His 7th of the season. Solo shot. Make that right center. It ties it up. But wait, there's much more Willie Moe to come. Next inning, Joe Randa strikes with a runner on. Home run to left center. His 2nd in as many nights. That gives Eric Milton a 3-1 lead. But that's gone by the 5th. Bases loaded for Eduardo Perez. The former Red takes Milton yard. Grand slam. Milton 5 innings, 8 hits, 7 earned runs. Now 8-4 in the 7th. Ryan Wagner serves up the single to Toby Hall. Aubrey Huff scores. Blow him out. 9-4 Tampa. But the Reds haven't forgotten John Allen's threat. So in the bottom of the 7th, Jason LaRue homers the left center. It's 9-5. The comeback is on. Next inning, Adam Dunn is due, and he does it. Home run to center. Number 15 with Willie Moe aboard. Barely gets over the wall. Now 9-7. Next batter, Jacob Cruz. Rip to left. Back-to-back jacks. Brace yourself. It's 9-8. Bottom of the 9th now. 2 outs, runner on 3rd. Ken Griffey Jr. delivers. Single to right, off Danny Baez. Ryan Friel scores. We're tied at 9. Next batter, who do you think? Willie Moe Pena, and there it goes. Yeah, a walk-off 2-run homer, upper deck job. His 2nd of the game. The Reds rally for an 11-9 victory. Good to see that at home plate. Junior goes 2 for 5, extends his hitting streak to 11 games. The Reds' last 6 homers in a game. That was back on April 20th, 2003 against Montreal. Luke Hudson will come off the DL tomorrow, looking to sweep Lou Pinella's D-Rays. No such comeback needed for the sweep tonight because the Reds' bats were booming. Let's go to Great American Ballpark tonight. The Reds lead 2-1 in the 2nd. Joe Randa singles off the shortstop. Julio Lugo into center. Starter Luke Hudson scores, followed by Ryan Friel. And the good guys are on top 4-1. Then it's 5-3 in the 5th when Rich Aurelia sends a line drive to right. The double easily scores Adam Dunn, Reds 6-3. Later in the 5th, Sean Casey singles to right. Once again, Hudson and Friel come around. 9-5. Hudson goes a 6 solid innings in his season debut tonight. After Junior extends his hitting streak to 12 games with an RBI single, this is Willie Moe Pena with the double to right. Casey come on down. 11-5. No giving up the lead, only adding to it. Jason LaRue gets large 2-run homer to straightaway center in the 6th. The Reds hit 10 home runs in the 3-game series. I'll make it 11. Jacob Cruz goes back-to-back. Every starter player gets a hit tonight. The Reds score 34 runs in the 3-game sweep. Pinch me. A season-high 14 tonight. Your final 11. Make that 14-5.
Hey, you got to start someplace. You got to beat the teams you should beat. I mean, that's the bottom line. And that's we feel like we should win these games, and we did. And it's a step in the right direction.
We did swing it decent in Colorado, but obviously over the last 3 nights, 2 of them didn't come from behind wins, and I think everybody's pitching in, so that's a good sign.
You have to go back to 1970, the World Series, the last time the Orioles and Reds squared off. That's when Baltimore won the championship in 5 games. 35 years later, they finally meet again. And while the Reds are riding a 3-game winning streak, by sweeping the last place D-Rays, the O's are sitting in first place in the American League East. Let's go to Great American Ballpark. Really, just one bad pitch by Aaron Harang. It comes in the 3rd as Melvin Mora tees off to left center, hitting the facade. That's a 3-run homer. O's ahead, 3-0. But in the bottom of the 3rd, Felipe Lopez leads off with this blast to right center. His 9th this season, cuts the O's lead to 3-1. Now, the Reds blow a couple of golden opportunities. First in the 5th, bases loaded, no outs. Jason LaRue grounds into the 5-2 fielder's choice. Willie Moe's out at the plate. Still loaded for the pitcher Harang, who strikes out swinging. And Dave Miley's thinking, where are all those runs from the last 3 games? Then it's Ryan Friel's turn with the sacks full, but he pops out the shallow left. No runs scored. Next inning, Ken Griffey Jr. sees the shift, bunts to 3rd, extends his hitting streak to 13 straight games. Bases loaded, 1 out. Reliever Steve Klein uncorks a wild one. Sean Casey scores. It's 3-2, but that's it. Meanwhile, Harang's dealing 7 innings, 5 hits, ties his career high with 10 strikeouts. Kent Merker takes over in the 8th. Miguel Tejada sends a long fly to left. Adam Dunn, bad break. They call it a double. Mora scores. O's 4-2, and that's key because in the bottom of the 8th, Junior takes John Parrish for a ride. Sammy Sosa thinks he's got to play at the wall. He leaps, but no ball. Watch it in slow-mo. That's Junior's 10th this season. It's a 1-run game. Former Reds farmhand B.J. Ryan, though, shuts the door in the 9th. Dunn strikeout. Lopez looking. LaRue, it's over. Reds 3-game winning streak ends 4-3. Harang, the hard luck loser, he drops to 4-4 this season. Junior's career home run number 511 ties him with Mel Ott for 18th place on the all-time list. Game 2 of the series tomorrow night at 7:10. One other note, infielder Anderson Machado plays for AAA Louisville tonight, but leaves the game with pain in the same knee he's trying to rehab.
Like I said, in the 5th and 6th innings, you know, if you get 1 or 2 across, it could be a whole different ballgame. I think we scored 1 on a wild pitch and 2 solo home runs. So the opportunities were there. We just didn't get it done.
Made one mistake, you know. I mean, that's why they're in first place. They don't miss their mistakes and miss their opportunities. So, and nothing I can do about it.
Now, before the game, the Reds introduced top draft pick Jay Bruce. The 18-year-old outfielder from Beaumont, Texas, got a look at himself in the team uniform and puts on the cap. The two sides agree on a bonus worth $1.8 million, but with Bruce, money isn't the issue. He just wants to play pro ball.
I didn't want to. I mean, there wasn't anything to negotiate. You know, you get what you get, and you know, you don't want to draw it out too far. You don't want to burn any bridges with anyone. So you just go out there and start playing. The only way you can get to the big leagues is play. So that's my goal, just to get out there and start taking the steps.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Sports Wrap. I'm Dan. He's Brian, and we are the Bald Guys.
Yeah, proud to save electricity by never needing blow dryers. Coming up tonight, are Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr. really out of the top 10 of the Nextel Cup points race? We'll take a closer look.
But we start at Great American Ballpark, where the Reds continued their 3-game series against the Baltimore Orioles. The two teams hadn't met since the 1970 World Series, when Brooks Robinson cemented his legend as the greatest fielding third baseman of all time. Well, at least until Brandon Larson came along. The Orioles took the opener last night. The Reds are looking to get even tonight in a game that was not on local TV, so we've got your first look at the highlights in our Reds report. Ceremonial first pitches were thrown out by 2 new members of the Reds Hall of Fame, Eric Davis and Jose Rijo. And look who is on hand to honor his former teammates. Barry Larkin, good to see him. Brandon Clausen got the start against the hard-hitting O's and was masterful. He whiffed Sammy in the first and had 5 Ks in 8 innings. The Reds loaded the bases with nobody out in the second and capitalized against 24-year-old Daniel Cabrera. First, Javier Valentin drew a bases-loaded walk to make it 1-0 Reds. Then after Clausen whipped for the first out of the inning, Felipe Lopez belted his second grand slam of the year. That is his 10th home run, tops among National League shortstops. He's tied with Junior for second in the ball club. The team leader, of course, is Adam Dunn, and in the third, he drilled his 16th home run, one behind Derek Lee for the National League lead. A 2-run poke that made it 7-zip. Clausen was happy to have the cushion, but didn't need it. In 8 innings, he gave up just 3 hits and 1 run, losing the shutout on a solo homer by Sal Fasano with 2 outs in the 8th. Meanwhile, the Reds scored double-digit runs for the 3rd time in 4 games. In the 6th, Lopez brings in 2 more with a single off Brian Roberts. The 6 RBI are a career high. And Sean Casey brought home the final Reds run with a single that scored Lopez, as Cincinnati evened the series at a game apiece by hammering the Orioles 10-1.
I thought we had some patient at bats, and he got a fastball, and I had to, going back to Clausen, I mean that's a tip of the hat to him. I mean, he just kept pitching even with the more or less big lead, and Felipe put us on the board quickly.
There was one inning when I got behind a couple of those guys, but I was still going to challenge them in the strike zone. My fastball, it's not explosive or anything, but located, it'll get me onto some jams.
The homestand concludes tomorrow afternoon at 1:15. Ramon Ortiz will look to bounce back from an atrocious start against Tampa Bay. He'll be opposed by Sidney Ponson, making his first ever appearance against the Reds.
Now's the perfect time to say it. If you haven't been to the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, you should go. In fact, you should have gone tonight. Instead of just seeing plaques, you could have seen the real thing. Johnny Bench was shaking hands. Joe Nuxhall was taking pictures. They're already in, but they were on hand to welcome the newest members of the Reds Hall of Fame.
He wore number 44. We simply called him E. Eric Davis.
Before the game, Marty Brenneman did the honors, and this year's class has a decided 1990 flavor to it. Eric Davis, a 2-time All-Star, who got things going against the A's in the World Series with a home run. His teammate, Jose Rijo, the MVP of that 1990 World Series team. They're in, along with 2 of the founding fathers, so to speak, George and Harry Wright. They led the first Red Stockings team to 81 consecutive wins over the course of the 1869 and 1870 seasons, the newest members of the Reds Hall of Fame.
To be presented today, this honor, together with Guy, a player, a teammate, a friend like Eric David, it definitely make this moment to me a very glorious moment.
I will always be a Cincinnati Red. Thank you to fans for voting. I'm glad they let you come back to vote. But you guys keep supporting the Reds. The Reds gonna come back and you're gonna have another World Championship. Thank you.
Cincinnati is the best, the greatest baseball city in the whole world. God bless America and God bless Cincinnati.
We had more with Eric Davis later in the show. And because timing is everything, we're dusting off our Hall of Fame special this weekend. This one belongs to the fans. Makes an encore appearance tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. It's not just a look at the museum, it's the stories behind all that great stuff they've got. This one belongs to the fans tomorrow night right after Sports Wrap here on Fox 19. Even though he's had a jersey and a locker at Shea Stadium most of this week, Danny Graves is just now a New York Met. His agent and the Mets finally got a deal done that gives the Mets an option for next year and includes a buyout clause if they don't pick it up. Graves says he doesn't care if he closes or not, and he also says this is not a second chance. It's a new chapter. He was voted baseball's comeback player of the year twice, once in 1996 and then again 2 years later in 1998.
And despite all the injuries and illness Eric Davis faced, he definitely made his mark on baseball in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and as of this weekend, Davis has his name on a plaque along with the other 67 members of the Reds Hall of Fame. But Davis only played about half his career in Cincinnati. He suited up for 5 other teams in all or part of 8 big league seasons. But you don't hear too much about his time with the Dodgers or the Tigers or anyone else. He is and always will be Eric the Red.
Fly ball to deep center field. McGee back. It's going to go.
Can go on and on. There were so many great moments at Riverfront Stadium, but I think the proudest thing was probably when we brought the World Series back to Cincinnati.
At 43 years old, Eric Keith Davis still looks like he can play baseball. A body that's endured cancer, chemotherapy, and 13 different surgeries is still solid and still carries the same smile that fans and teammates saw for 17 big league seasons. And it's those same fans that brought him back, voting Davis and teammate Jose Rio into the Reds Hall of Fame.
To know how many great players wore that uniform and to have that opportunity to put that uniform on and then have the success that I had individually as well as team-wise, and then have the fans elect you into the Hall of Fame, I mean, it don't get any better than that.
Davis says he still keeps up with baseball, still checks in on the Reds. But it's a different organization now in Cincinnati, and in his opinion, that's part of the problem.
People have to respect the tradition of what that organization was all about. If you don't have people there who was a part of that tradition, it's hard to teach somebody tradition. You know, you have to feel it, you have to breathe it, you have to do it. You look at the most successful organizations in all professional sports, they keep those people around to teach other people how it's supposed to be. I think the Reds have gotten away from that.
But Davis can't get away from the memory of some of his best years in baseball. A 2-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glover, all with Cincinnati. So if Cooperstown never calls, Davis says he's honored that the Reds did.
The only thing that you can really get across is thank you. You know, because they voted for you, you know, they supported you, you know, so something like this is an aftermath of success, and when you've done that, the only thing you can say is thank you.
In the next 30 minutes, we'll hear from the Reds on a successful homestand and get their thoughts on an impending matchup with the world champs. We'll have one-on-one interviews with the newest members of the Hall of Fame, Eric Davis and Jose Rio. A talk with a few of the Bengals rookies following the on-field coaching sessions, plus golf and NASCAR highlights. So no minor details are overlooked here. And Austin Kearns won't be overlooking the minors because in a surprise move, the slumping outfielder has been sent to Louisville. Kearns was hitting just .224 and a paltry .176 with runners in scoring position. And with Willie Mopena and Ryan Friel producing, playing time has been scarce.
Yeah, I think we all realize that nobody, likes to be sent down. But, I definitely in the long run, it's definitely going to benefit him. And again, just get him going and get him back to where he was.
Time for you at home to make the call. Plain and simple. Should the Reds trade outfielder Austin Kearns? Yes or no? 345-1212. Give us a call. It's a free call. Results coming up a little later in the show. Now, Kenny Kelly is called up to replace Kearns. So, too, is catcher Dane Sardinia. Jason LaRue has been placed on the bereavement list to attend the funeral of his grandfather. He won't be eligible to play until Wednesday. Those left had a chance to take 2 out of 3 from the AL East leading Orioles today. No score, second inning, runner on. Sammy Sosa takes Ramon Ortiz to deep left center field, 417 feet. Orioles build a 3-0 lead. But the Reds come back in the bottom of the frame with 2 aboard. Rich Aurelia comes alive off Sidney Ponson, his 6th of the season. It's all even, 3 apiece. Third inning now. Sosa strikes again. This time a solo shot. Number 582 for his career, one behind Mark McGwire for 6th on the all-time home run list, O's 4-3. Bottom of the inning, Sean Casey singles to right. Felipe Lopez scores. Once again, we're all tied. And Lopez keeps it that way. Robs Miguel Tejada of a base hit in the 5th. Very Larkin-esque. Good defense. Earns a standing ovation from Tejada. Bottom 5 now with Casey aboard. Junior hammers the shot to deep right center field. Just enough for the 2-run homer. Griffey a triple short of the cycle. The Reds go up 6-4 and add to that lead in the 6th. Lopez comes up big again and singles the shallow left. That knocks in the new guy, Kelly, the pinch runner, 7-4. Lopez now batting .309. Reds not done. On to the 7th. Bases loaded for Aurelia. Single to left. Scores Casey. Aurelia season high 4 RBI. It's 8-4. And next up, Kelly, his first at bat with the Reds. Singles through the drawn-in infield for his first career hit. Scoring Griffey and Dunn for his first 2 RBI. Reds go on to win today, 10-6. Now, Sosa has 9 homers at Great American Ballpark. That ties him with Houston's Lance Berkman and Milwaukee's Jeff Jenkins for the most by opposing players at the 3-year-old facility. And Griffey ties Eddie Matthews and Ernie Banks for 16th on the all-time home run list with 512. Ortiz goes 7 innings, allows 4 earned. He gets the win. He is now in 2-4 this season.
Yeah, he pitched great for us. Ramon really did the job, kept us right where we needed to be, and got us through 7, and that was pretty much the ball game right there.
Yeah, we've been swinging the bat well ever since we left Colorado, and hopefully that continues. And this offense is capable of scoring a lot of runs, and if we get the pitch, then we're gonna be in a lot of ball games.
We didn't get the key hits in Colorado, and we were able to do it, the last couple games. So that's the most important thing, is to keep grinding day in and day out.
Excellent day today. Got my first hit. We got a win. Got my mom and my wife and my kids in the stands, so can't get any better than that.
No, it sure doesn't get any better than that. The Reds take off after the game. They're in Boston tonight, ready to open a 3-game series with the Red Sox at famed Fenway Park. Not only are the players ready to take on the defending world champs, but we found they're anxious to get a close look at one of baseball's most sacred shrines.
Tomorrow, the right fielders are going to take ground balls off that wall, because that's probably the biggest disadvantage that we have is playing that wall right there.
It's going to be special for me. I've only seen it on TV, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. I know Jerry Naren's talked about it quite often, and it's kind of the same resemblance as far as going to Wrigley. I mean, it's got that aura about it, and I'm looking forward to seeing it, and hopefully we play good baseball.
I mean, there's a lot of people I hadn't been there, but that's one of the oldest ballparks there, and there's so much tradition and stuff there. It's kind of like Wrigley. It's gonna be a lot of fun to play there.
Now the results. We asked, should the Reds trade outfielder Austin Kearns? 31% say yes, the time is right. An overwhelming 69% believe he's too important. Pretty overwhelming. Thanks to if you were one of the more than 700 callers who phoned us here tonight.